Right.
Marker. What's up, everybody? This is Guys with Size, episode 15. I'm here with John 6, and it's going to be a great morning. What is it, 5:30 in the morning? 5:45?
Yeah, just about.
Oh, baby.
Real early.
We rolling. 6 is on 3 hours of sleep, so I got to ask. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I had my caffeine when I woke up, and I'm going to get a little bit more right here.
Well,
so.
in that case, let's caffeinate.
Let's get cracked.
To dominate.
Let's go.
Oh, there's something about that first sip that goes straight to the soul, isn't it? Well, not yours.
Well, it's not my first sip of caffeine. My
Well,
first of that.
You don't think that one? Did that one go over your head?
I guess so. Yeah, my brain's not
So,
quite all there yet.
sorry guys. For anybody not watching on video and just watching on audio, John is a redhead. So I just made a redhead joke that way.
Oh yeah,
Over.
completely. Right over. But yeah,
Over
no,
his
we got it now.
Yeah, there it is. It's clicking. It's clicking and we rolling. See,
Yes, sir.
I am full of energy this morning, if you couldn't tell,
Hey, I
because
love it.
I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, so I actually slept in an hour.
Oh Jesus.
I know, right?
That's sleeping in.
I know.
Hey, just so you guys know, you don't have to wake up 2:30 or 2 o'clock. Like
You
this.
do not.
No.
You do not. And the reason I do that, so like, there's a reason behind a majority of things that I do, right?
Mhm.
And I think as humans, we're just habitual. Like, we have habits, so like, there's always a reason,
Yeah.
or an excuse. But depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah.
But I normally work when I'm working in the warehouse at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
So if I want to get my non-negotiables done, I have to get up earlier in order to have enough time to get those done. So like this morning, I know I'm traveling to Atlanta for a Spartan race. I have to drive 9 hours. I get to drive 9 hours to go do this race, right? So I want to read. I want to make sure I make my bed. I got to feed my cat. She yells at me until I feed her. I have to do my take my photo for my 75 hard. Get my first workout in, which I just did. I do my walk and talks in the morning, and I have to do all of that before recording with you at like 5:45 in the morning. So, or on a normal work day before 5 o'clock. So, in order to get all those things done, I have to, or better way to look at it, I choose to get up because I'm prioritizing those tasks in my life because I know doing those specific things will push my life forward, or if you look at it, closer to the person and the goals that I want to achieve and be. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, and I know Andy talks about it all the time. He's just like, dude, you don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Very true. Andy does not go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning.
No.
I do. But he has a schedule that works for him. You have a schedule that works for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like let's just make it very clear, and I'm glad you brought that up, like because a lot of people are like, get up earlier. It's like, man, if you get all of your tasks done and you are getting closer to the person that you've always wanted to be, get up whenever you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting the tasks done that you need to, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter how early you get up.
Mhm.
And to your point with waking up early and doing it before you get to work, something I've noticed from doing that myself is just the anxiety is reduced greatly that you get those tasks done earlier. Like, you feel so much better going through your whole day at work knowing like, hey, I got my reading done. I got all my powerless tasks done before I even got to work. So
Mhm.
you have all that time after work to get extra stuff done.
You can get extra stuff done, and it's your time to actually decompress.
Oh, yeah.
And because I think a lot of people miss that, is just like, dude, I'm not on crank to 11 all the time. When I go home after work, I get my second workout in, get my postie in, and then I go home and I'm just like, I've talked in former episodes about how my home is my sanctuary. So when I'm home, I'm shutting down engines. So I purposely get my task done in the morning and right after work so that when I get there, it's just like, cool, we can hang out. Like, if I don't play video games often, but like if I want to play a video game, I have time to play a video game. If I want to make a phone call, I have time to make a phone call. But normally that's like my creative time to where like I shut the world off. I journal, because I journal twice a day. And then like if I want to write some things, if I want to start making some reels for the next week, that's when I do that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I just put it on autopilot. We just get some water and we go.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I remember Andy talking about that before as well, and he says he loves getting his fuck off time in too. Like he runs freaking 8 companies, and
that's
still,
what we know about.
Oh yeah, he's probably got some more in the works too.
Well, he has a hand in hundreds with Arte and everything like that. So yeah, sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, but he's still programs in that time to fuck off because he loves going on the internet and freaking researching the CTI stuff.
Absolutely.
That's his stuff he does in his free time.
And that's what people don't see behind the scenes. High performers are always going to be high performers, even in their fuck off time. It's funny because he actually shows it. People just don't understand it.
Yeah.
So when he's chilling in his barn, his office, he has an office in his car barn, right? It's really, really cool. But he's smoking cigars. He's reading. His library is awesome up there. And searching on the internet. But that's his fuck off time. That's what brings him kind of joy. That's his decompression. That's his peace time. And building that in, I think, is really, really important. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's gonna look different for every single one of us. That's the crazy part. Is that your fuck off time looks different than mine.
Absolutely.
Mine is just hanging out, chilling, and journaling or reading with my cat on my lap. That's it.
Awesome.
That's it.
Yeah, no, it looks very different. For
yeah.
me, I'm getting on YouTube usually, looking up either. So some of you may connect with this. That I know a lot of people love the full day of eating videos. So to watch freaking pro bodybuilders go through their full day of eating. It's super simple. They usually all eat the same stuff, meat and rice, but it's just something that draws me in about watching people do their work and do it at a very high level for what I love, the bodybuilding.
And it reinforces, I think that in particular with you, it's reinforcing what you want to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's keeping you motivated, it's pulling you towards your goal, because instead of getting on the internet looking at people, doing the if it fits my macros, making pizzas, eating desserts. No. You're looking at what is this professional bodybuilder where I want to go in my life is doing, and how do I mimic it?
Exactly.
Right? You're not going to carbon copy it, but how do I mimic it? And you are probably finding somebody spices it like this, which means it doesn't taste just plain beef and rice.
Absolutely.
And I can make bland food taste good. And you find that because you're searching for it in your time that you build in because you get all your tasks done.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that just makes me think about do something that you love, because if you love what you're doing, you're gonna use that extra time to actually move you forward.
Yeah.
That's why Andy's free time actually progresses him forward as well. If you're passionate about what you do, it's so much easier to make progress. Cause if it's not the full day of eating videos, it's freaking nerd videos on workouts or nutrition or supplements, whatever.
Dude, there's nothing like nerd now. And for me, I don't want to, I just chill. I actually listen to a lot of podcasts too. So I was just listening to an Alex Hormozi podcast on the Diary of a CEO, which I'm really getting into.
Oh, I love Alex.
Dude, yeah. And the Diary of a CEO podcast is freaking awesome. I'll actually link it down below. But on my walk and talks, on my walks before I do my walk and talks, I'm listening to a podcast. Normally it's a self-improvement podcast, but sometimes it's a sports podcast just because. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I do too. It's at night when I get on YouTube, it's just cool. I want to learn how to edit this reel a little bit better, or how the algorithm changed. How do I figure this out?
It constantly changes.
Dude, and it's parsing through information, but that's what you're doing as well. And like I said, it's different for all of us. Our routines are different for all of us, because we're humans, and humans are different. We're the same but different. And it's very, very important to say that out loud. And once again, I thank you for bringing that up right away, because I have a tendency just to be get up earlier, get things done, and it's just well, some people don't function like that. Some people are night owls. I am not. I am a guy that goes to bed really early, always have been. And I like to get up earlier to get things done, so then I just go to bed earlier.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely the opposite.
Yes.
I'm very much a night owl. I like staying up a little bit later. Sometimes I get some of my things done, those extra credit things done after work in those later hours, because it's just, I'm sure you feel the same way about waking up super early in the morning, because I felt it when I just did a quick walk this morning and get the blood flowing.
Dude, you gotta get moving.
Yeah, it's nobody's up working right now. like, this is the best feeling ever. Like, I look around, everything's super quiet, and I'm just like, nobody else is doing this right now except about you walking on your walkie-talkie.
And that's what, like, honestly, I say that a lot of the time, is that I get up early for the fact that the world is calm. Like, it's my peace time. I can walk, I can do whatever I need to do without the phone ringing, without anything like that. I'll answer text messages and people won't text me back because it's too damn early. And like, even night owls, like, you guys get that just in a different way. You get it at the end of your day. Well, I get it at the beginning of my day. But we're overlapping in that same peace time where the world is kind of like quiet.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's such a great feeling to be like, yeah, I'm working and nobody else is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the time that you have where you're going to be able to get the most done. Like, you have no distractions. You can 100% focus on what you're doing.
Yep. So, speaking of having fun and all that good stuff, you got a little quote-unquote event tonight, huh?
Oh, yes.
Tell me about it.
So we're going to this place called Chicken and Pickle. So.
Dude, chicken and pickle.
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't know too much about it, but I know we're going to be competing in some pickleball and other games. And yeah, the customer service team has definitely been talking some shit already.
Oh man, nothing like a little friendly competition, huh?
Oh yeah, we are very competitive people. Like, there's a few people that have said like, oh yeah, I've never played pickleball before, but I'm still going to kick all your asses.
You know, sometimes your rational confidence is a good thing. When it comes to sports, I've found that you got to be a little bit more careful. Because all it takes is like that old dude at the gym to humble you really quick. Have you ever had that? Like, any situation? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it could just be pick up basketball, and then you're the one guy that you would never expect just dropping threes on you.
Oh my god, those old heads for pickup basketball, they're the most frustrating players to play. I remember back in the day, like, to get ready for playoffs, my coach used to bring in like older people, like, and I say older, I'm 18, so like I see like the 40-year-old that's older, but like, they are so fundamentally sound. It's like pivot, pass fake, and then like they're just destroying us because like they just do everything right. That our athleticism just goes out the door. And I think you're gonna see that tonight on the pickleball court.
Yes.
It's just like there's gonna be people that are so uber athletic, look like baby deer because they have no idea what they're doing.
Exactly.
And they're gonna swing and miss, and it's gonna be really funny.
Yeah, but you told me about a sleeper that we got on the team.
I did, but one of our coworkers and friends, Mikey, he plays in a pickleball league.
Okay.
And people don't know. So apparently people don't know. So I gave Six the inside information. We'll see if he can get on that team.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna be my partner tonight for sure.
Yep. Either way, it's gonna be fun, and I think bonding with your coworkers is really, really important, right? You guys aren't just individuals like getting a job done. You are a team with a mission, and being able to bond over that and to bond outside of work just creates a more cohesive atmosphere for success.
100%. Yeah, and I know we talk a lot about struggling with your team to really grow, and like that's why like people who I've worked in the warehouse with like you for years, that's why we have a stronger bond because we've been through some shit together. But it's also important to go have some fun with your team too. Like, just go relax, like just go do something that everybody can enjoy. You don't always have to go through a hard ass workout together or go through long ass hours in your job to actually grow with your team. You gotta have some fun too.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would say that it's very important for a team from a team bonding standpoint. I struggle with this because I'm an introvert, and I'm just like, God bless it. Like, gotta go play pickleball. Like, I don't like playing pickleball.
Normal alarm
like
going off. My
bad. Well, you're up and at 'em already. And I'm just like, man, like, I don't necessarily want to go, but I know when I get there that I'm going to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the important is leaning into things that you don't want to do. Not only because people are counting on you to show up and be there, it's building a team environment. It's creating stronger bonds, getting outside of your comfort zone, like stretching that boundary a little bit to show like I'm growing as a human being. And it's really important just to like show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those like just the fun outings that we have had in the past with like the warehouse. Those are some of the best times that I've ever had with people. Too.
Core memories, baby.
100%. Yeah. Like going out to the farm for things like Fall Fest.
Oh my gosh,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember you made a post about that not too long ago. Back, it was like I think it was Govero doing some flips. Or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude,
that guy
just,
loves to flip.
Oh yeah, it just brought me back, and I was like, that's some of the best times that I've ever had in my life, and it's just because of the people. It's not because of the things that we're doing. You're just surrounded by the best people on the freaking planet.
Yeah, and I think I'm saying I think a lot. Sorry guys, because I'm thinking a lot this morning.
Yeah, hey, well,
here we are. But with that kind of stuff, like First Form does a really good job of building that in throughout the year, right? So we have Summer Smash coming up.
That's crazy.
I know,
coming
right?
up.
I can't say the date. I may or may not know it, but I'm really excited for that this year. It's going to be the most epic one yet. It'll be my 4th Summer Smash. Which Summer Smash are you on?
I think it'll be 6.
Dude, man.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That's awesome. So Summer Smash, and then we have, of course, we do events throughout the summer. So like last year, we did a few meetups. There was Jacksonville with a Go Ruck event. They did Arizona. They climbed Camelback Mountain, and they did the mile-long like stairs in Colorado. To where like we do these meetups throughout the summer, and then we have Fall Fest for our employees. And it's just like we do a really, really good job of getting like the community together and like having benchmarks throughout the year of like, okay, we're working towards this. Now we're resetting, having mission. Okay, cool. Now we get to have some fun to relax. And then boom, 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 boom. And like we do a really good job of setting that up. And you can even look at the challenges like that too, because that's community building. That's everybody's driven towards one thing. At the end of the challenge, it's all like, woo, let's fucking win. We just did it. And then we can keep on going. And it's like a nice little reset. So I think having those benchmarks quarterly, monthly, weekly in your own life is really important to set up.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just we work super hard and we play hard as well.
Damn right we do. And we talked about that a lot in the beginning of the year, and I think it's time to reiterate the fact that having benchmarks set up that you can take a step back and see if you're on track is important. And I do this by asking myself questions, right? And I didn't tell you about this, but here we are. So the questions that I ask is, who am I? Who do I want to be? And how do I fill the gaps? Where am I? Where do I want to be? And how do I fill the gaps? And if you get those answers and who am I, and you don't like the answer, well, that's where you figure out who do I want to be, how do I fill the gaps. Now I use the gaps as goals, action, purpose, service. That's just me. Like that's the way I think of it. Am I following? Do I have my goals? Am I taking the proper action? Right? Like, is it in line with my purpose? And am I serving people? Like that's just the way I look at it. And then it's the same place. It's the same thing. Where am I? That could be job. That could be location on earth. That could be anything that you kind of define. Where do I want to be in my career? Where do I want to live? Where do I want to be in a relationship with a partner, right? And then how do I fill those gaps? And it works in all situations, but answering those on a weekly, a monthly, a quarterly, which I really do the deep dive quarterly, and then yearly basis is really, really important because it's not the first of the year, but you can still start again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You said that's your acronym for GAPS.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, and that's a great way to just hold yourself accountable and make sure you're making the progress you need to actually get to where you want to be. Like, I actually, with that, you said something with the older guys on the basketball court that kind of made me think of something. You said that they were really good at the basics.
The fundamentals, man.
And that is like where you're assessing is like, hey, am I knocking out the basics of what I need to get to where I want to be? And that was just on my mind since you said that, because it's like the greats like Michael Jordan, like LeBron James, like they start with chest passes while they're practicing.
Every practice.
And it's the simple stuff that is going to get you where you want to be. And using that system right there is a great way to be like, all right, am I doing what I need to do?
Yeah. What are the simple things in your life that you kind of do on a daily basis or a weekly basis that you would think would be the most important? So like those basics, the fundamentals of like those old heads, what is that for you?
Well, number one is always going to be reading 10 pages every single day. Like that not only helps you always be learning, one of our core values. So you got to keep your mind sharp. You got to always be learning something so that you can keep progressing forward. Like it just reminds me of a concept of when you get to a certain point of knowing a subject, you finally understand like, hey, I don't know anything about this, and I'm always going to be able to learn. Like you just, there's that drop off point where you're like, you're the best in the world, but you're like, I'm just touching the surface. But yeah, reading 10 pages, it's also going to like get your mind working in the morning. Like it's kind of a warm up for my brain before I get in here and get on the phones and emails and stuff like that. So that's been huge. Obviously working out, like that's a obvious one because that's what I love to do, but that's also something that like keeps me disciplined. Like I know if I have 3 days in a row, like sometimes I have to take 3 days in a row off for recovery purposes, but if I have 3 days in a row where I don't work out, like I immediately feel off. The day is just not going properly on that third, fourth day if I'm not working out. And then also like doing like research on like more training, supplements, nutrition. That's something that I do every single day because like that's one of my goals in life is to help educate people on the simple stuff so that they're able to progress in their own life.
And that goes back to the first one of sharpening your skills. That goes hand in hand. So reading and doing research is like yours non-negotiables for the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then one more that I always do is wake up and, I mean, whether I write it down or just sit there and pray about it, is think about 3 things that I'm grateful for every single morning. And that's been so impactful in my life, is just having a positive mindset going into the day. Like I noticed that when you start your day with positive thoughts like that, you're gonna get better ideas throughout the day, better performance. You just feel better when you start your day with positivity like that. And there's a lot to be grateful for in life.
So much to be grateful for.
Yeah, I wanna make sure I reflect on that.
I'm really happy you brought that up because before, especially in 2023 and a little bit before that, I actually got out of the habit of gratitude lists. I was just like, just kind of writing down the same things. Like it wasn't intentional. Like I wasn't actually thinking deeply about it.
Just going through the motions.
Exactly. And in 2024, like I just like flipped it back on. I'm just like, no, we are doing this. And every single day of 2024, like I've made a gratitude list of 3 to 5 things every morning. And it's such a game changer for a mindset thing. It's such a reset, I would say, in the morning. Just like, oh yeah, like even if things aren't going right today. So I'm really happy you said that one because for me, and it sounds like you, it's a total game changer.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about it last week. It helps you stay in that try me mindset instead of why me. Like I noticed like when I was in that, going down that hill, when I was losing momentum.
Struggling, baby.
Yeah, no, it all happens to everybody. But I noticed that was the thing, because when you're in that pit, you have a lot more negative emotion. You have a lot more negative thoughts. And that was the key to flipping that switch to help me go back up that hill the other side and start progressing again, was like just starting my day with a couple positive thoughts.
Yeah, the brain is a crazy thing, right? And we've discussed it can't hold a positive thought and a negative thought at the same time. And by starting your day off with gratitude, like there's so many studies that have shown like, hey, you're just going to think better thoughts throughout the day. And it's just like, oh, that's all I have to do? like I might not be as angry or I might not be as depressed if I just think like list a few things of gratitude. Like, yeah,
it's that simple.
That's simple. Not easy though. And,
100%.
And that's one of the things that I love Jim Rohn for saying that. He's an OG motivational speaker, and he's just like, it's simple. Not easy, but it's simple. And if you take that, if you look at that, everything in life, right? Gratitude list, fitness, nutrition, anything, reading, studying, it's all simple.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's not easy, but you have to get through that and push through it and still do it. Like, some of you might be like thinking, I don't want to do a gratitude list. And well, do it for a week, right? Just do it for a week and see how you feel. Like, and reflect on it. Just be like, and do it with intention, and see what your thoughts are throughout the day. I bet you it'll be a positive thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was hard to do it every single day at first for me. Like, it was not a habit that I had built, and some days I missed.
Just like anything.
Absolutely.
Habit takes time. 62 days according to science, not that 21 that everybody says.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit more than that for a lot of people.
I agree.
Because like, think about, like, with 75 Hard, you see people that will fall off that program immediately after building some really amazing habits with that program. They go in the mindset of like, hey, I'm the day 76 syndrome that we talked a little bit about.
And
before.
that's where Ed Milet's concept of the thermostat is really important that people are aware of. Have you ever heard of that?
I'm not ringing a bell.
I'm sure he's talked about it on Andy's podcast. But so he looks at it as everybody has a thermostat in their life. Some of us are at 100, some of us at 50, some of them set their thermostat at 85. And if you're burning hot, right? Like, you're on a roll, you're at 100, but you think your internal thermostat is 85, you're gonna purposely cool yourself off to 85. But if you get down to like 50 and you're just kind of like, and you're just like, oh no, I need to get cranking, you're gonna crank that thermostat back up to 85 to get you to where you think you should be. And that's like that, it's an internal programming that we can all bust through to like raise our thermostat level. And to do that, like, you have to change your thoughts. You have to change your habits. You have to change the programming in your mind. And that takes a lot of deep work. I'm doing a lot of research into the mind and the brain and the neural pathways right now. So it just made me think of that as like, a lot of people do 75 Hard as a program or a challenge. And it's not. Andy talks about this all the time. It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
So the people that have that day 76 syndrome, which is okay, like, okay, have your pizza, but get back on it.
The very next day.
Yes, because it's the habits that you've ingrained in yourself. It's not a program. It's not a challenge. It's something that you embody. So I think the people that do 75 Hard and then fall off right into their old habits do it with the wrong intent.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go into it thinking like, hey,
I'm just going to do this in 75 days. I'll be done with it. I can check the box. I can post it on Instagram and just like, look at me. It's like,
yeah, it's like people are on day 65 and all can think about is like what they're going to eat on that day 76. Like, they went into it with the wrong mindset 100%.
Yeah, 100%. And that's really important because I'm on 75 Hard right now. And like, I look at it as just like, man, like, we're rolling. And I look at it as like, this is a lifestyle. What can I bring more into my life? How is this affecting it? And that goes back to the reflection phase too, of like, I'm consciously doing 75 Hard to get better and to bring these things into my life so that I can create new habits, better habits, and more efficient habits instead of just planning my meal for day 76. And it's really cool because day 75 is April 15th. It's a week before my birthday, which is April 22nd. So it's just like, cool, I might as well just keep rolling to my birthday, right? Like, day 76 isn't going to mean anything to me because, like, I'm probably going to have cake on my birthday, but, like, why would I spoil my momentum on day 76 when I'm just like, oh, I just have to wait a week until I can have more cake? Like, I can have it, I'm just going to not do it.
Yeah, it's not that long. You can make a little
exactly. And then I think I'm gonna get right back on it because I'm gonna start phase 1 pretty soon after my birthday, and then that'll take us right into the Summer Smash time frame, and then we'll be rolling right into summer. So you got to LGN, you got to look good naked, so you might as well just keep those habits on rolling. And that's the way I'm looking at it, and that comes from all the reflection that I've been doing and the course corrections and everything like that, and me filling those gaps.
Yeah, I think the most significant part about like what you're doing with just continuing with those habits as soon as you're done is that momentum that you mentioned. You just continually build momentum. Like Andy's talked about it before, where if you do it right, if you do it with the right intent, like when you get to day 75, day 76 isn't going to be that much different because you're so afraid of going back to the person that you used to be.
Dude, I don't want to be that person that I was in 2023 or even 2022. Like, I don't want that.
100%.
I want to be that person that takes the blessing of life that God has given me and amplifies it and can take it to as many people as possible to show them that it's possible. like to show them that you can get the body you want, you can get out of poverty, you can build financial well-being, you can mental, physical, spiritual well-being. Like, I want to show everybody that it's possible, and I can't do that being the person I was. And there's nothing wrong, quote unquote, with the person that I was. I still think I was a good human. I still think I benefited society. But I know there's more in the tank.
Oh, yeah.
And it's my duty, until the day they throw dirt on me, to bring that out to the world. And that's where that last two things, purpose and service, come into play for me. Like, I hold those in such high regard, because it's like, what is my purpose? Am I serving? Like, that is where I'm like aiming my life. And that's kind of how I guide my life every single day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. and those basics, those fundamentals we covered, yours, mine are simple. It's just like walk. Obviously, I talk.
Every morning.
Yeah, every morning. I 3 to 5 days a week, hit the gym, hit the weights, right? Lift heavy things, put them down, and read every single day. Like, that's a habit that I guess in 22 and 23, and even before that a little bit, is like I wasn't as consistent with it. And I'm very happy that in 2023 or 2024, like every day, like there's no missing. And studying the things that you need to study, and those are the basics. Like if I do that every single day, bam, like my world's gonna turn out. I also try to do outreach, so that's sending messages on Instagram, LinkedIn, even human connection, like person to person. It's a thing, y'all. It's a necessary thing, y'all. Because the more people that I get to know, the more people that I can get into their life and support their journey, the more people I can help, right?
Absolutely.
And then maybe they can amplify what I have going on, because they have something that they're doing that can fill one of my gaps in my life. And then I see that, and then we just help each other. It's a symbiotic relationship, right?
100%.
So outreach every single day is one of mine as well.
Yeah, and I was going to say that also is helping you build skills that you need in the future to, one, help more people, like for selfless reasons, and then also selfish reasons that's going to just help you progress more in your career in life, is getting those interactions with people. Because the more, it's just coming into my head because we had a meeting with Sal actually yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. We got to, well, we
Was
were
it
going to
like
ask
Q&A?
Yeah, it was Q&A. He actually went off questions that got from the warehouse actually, and they were freaking awesome. But he talked about the most important leadership quality was solving people's problems. And you're just getting practice solving people's problems. That's the best skill that you can have to obviously help people and help yourself progress. So.
Yeah, love it. And the way that we kind of look at things around here in our lives is just like, okay, cool. We have to solve problems. Educate, impact, entertain, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's like my whole goal on social media too. It's just like, cool, I'm going to entertain people. I'm going to give some people some motivation, and I'm going to do my best to educate them on these things in an entertaining way, right? So how do I mix everything? Because people don't really care about like what you're doing, because social media is a highlight reel. They care about A, how you make them feel, and B, what value are you bringing to them? Like, what kind of skills are you bringing to them? Are you enhancing their life? And then they become fans of you, and then they like interact with you and stuff like that. So that's how like everything that kind of like I do put on social media and things like that are kind of like within that realm. Because if I'm not serving you to the best of my ability, like I understand why you unfollow me. Like I get it. Like why would you want to follow somebody that you're not entertained by, that you don't want that lifestyle? It's just like, okay, cool. Like I'm not for you. Maybe you're gonna find somebody else with you, but I'm gonna do my best to bring you that value, and to bring you that education, and to bring you that motivation, and to bring you that entertainment, so that you do follow me, and then we build a relationship and we go from there.
Your brand's not going to be for everybody. I mean,
No.
it's okay.
No. And like I said, like last episode is just accepting being the villain. Like in that sense, I'm not the villain, but like I get it. Like I'm not for you. Cool.
I it's okay. It's okay if we disagree.
Yeah, dude. Disagreement that I've had with people has helped build relationships. So I've disagreed with people. We've sat around and talked about it, and then I'm just like, person's pretty cool. I like the way they think about it. Once we talked about it, just like me and you can disagree on something, and I could just be like, fuck that guy. We disagree on this particular subject. Yeah, but we might have 99 other subjects that we agree on.
Yeah.
That we're like in alignment with. It's just this one thing, and it's just like, oh yeah, I can still be friends with you. Like,
yeah, when you have that conflict and talk it through with somebody and they're like actually adult about it, that's something that I see people are not very mature about things like that.
Social media, baby.
Yeah.
You can yell from behind a screen and nobody cares.
Exactly. But yeah, when you go through that conflict and like they're willing to work with you, actually I've grown my relationships even more from situations like that.
Yeah.
Just when it's good all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, conflict helps build relationships. Conflict helps make you a better person.
Absolutely.
And because it makes you think, and it makes you adjust, and it makes you verbalize your points. And have you ever been in the middle of a conversation and just been like, oh, I sound like an idiot? Like,
absolutely.
Like, actually, Six, you're right. Like, but that takes humility, and you check the ego and take the old chip off the shoulder, which I know I have sometimes. But yeah, it's really important to be able to have those conversations and things like that. And honestly, I would suggest to everybody to be willing to have those conversations, especially with people that you disagree with.
Absolutely.
Seeing things from both sides of the aisle and then creating an opinion on it, and realizing that, hey, I can still like you as a human being even though we disagree on this one particular subject.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you said something significant there. It's like you gotta be open-minded to being like, it's okay if you're wrong sometimes. It's like, and you're gonna learn from those situations.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it is really, really hard to take that chip off your shoulder because that hurts every time.
It does.
But that's where you're really.
But it's important to do. It really is important to do because if you want to grow as a human being, you gotta be willing to hear the hard truth. Right.
Yeah, you gotta let that ego go sometimes.
Yep. Sometimes, a lot of the time, the ego can be a good thing. It's like, I am going to do this. That is ego driven.
Yeah.
However, it's also motivating. Like the ego's a good thing. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's also being humble. That's one of our core values here at First Form. Stay humble, right? And it's just like, but being able to walk that fine line of arrogance, humility, ego driven versus checking the ego. Like, I think it's all necessary. And it's gonna look, as I said in the beginning, different for all of us.
100%.
And
yeah, there's a huge dichotomy with that.
There is.
Like, sometimes you gotta, like how Andy puts it, you just gotta freaking put it on full. Like, he's gotta have his tank all the way full of confidence when he goes on stage and speaks to people, or he's not even gonna freaking do it.
Yep.
And sometimes you gotta be extremely humble when you realize you're wrong in those situations we were just talking about. Like, you gotta be humble, and you don't have to be confident about that idea you had anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there's a huge dichotomy. There's dichotomy in literally everything. Like,
everything in life.
You can go too far one way or the other with literally.
And dichotomy is basically two things can be right at the same time. And it's just like craziness how you'll have to walk that fine line. But there's fine lines everywhere in life. So it's pretty cool. And if anybody wants to read a great book, The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink, I think it's even been updated and expanded recently.
Oh, really?
I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think it's in our library here. So
I need to grab that.
Yeah, definitely. So, dude, it's like $14 on Amazon. I'll link it below. Everybody should read that book. Every leader should read that book. Every subordinate should read that book. Every person in high school should read that book, if you ask me. So that's a shameless plug for Jocko. You're welcome. If one of you read that book, we did our job. So, big things coming up, right? Like, we've already talked about big measuring marks and stuff like that within the company. Outside of the company, Hawaii's coming fast, man.
Oh, yeah, dude. How many months out?
It's like 5 months out.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
It's a time warp.
It's been a blur. It's been a blur. And
I'm excited.
Dude, I know. So, in case people don't know, we're doing a Spartan race in Hawaii. We're doing 3 races. 6 is coming along with me.
Yes, sir. First one ever. Well, I did a Tough Mudder, but that don't count.
I mean, it's an OCR event, and I'm a big proponent. Like, I don't like Tough Mudders because I don't like getting shocked.
Like, that part was awful.
Yeah, it just don't suit me. And
it was in water. Too,
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Is like, honestly, the one that got me was like the one that I did, the last one I did. It was like soupy water, going underneath barbed wire and getting shocked. Yep. Like the ones at the end are fine, but it was the climbing underneath barbed wire with the wires down and getting shocked. Then 5,000 volts of electricity and fucking mud and water, just wasn't about it. But we got through it. Just wasn't about it.
Yep.
But that's why I do Spartan races. And the difference between Spartan and Tough Mudder is like in Tough Mudders the obstacles are a little bit more elaborate, so the wait periods can be a little bit longer. So the lines get backed up because it just takes a little bit longer to get through, and then when you have thousands of people coming through, the lines just get backed up. Yeah. Spartan, it's like, okay, you either do the obstacle, you do the penalty lap or burpees, and you keep on moving.
That's super nice.
Yeah, so that's what I enjoy about Spartan is just like, okay, cool. You can help somebody over a wall, you keep moving, but it's not like you have to get over 3 walls and then do this other obstacle at the top, which slows everybody down, and then you get shocked at the end. So that's why I do Spartans.
Dude, my least favorite part of it was the freaking, it was called the Arctic Enema.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Bro, that is, dude, I got out.
That's not the worst.
I'm terrible with cold water.
Oh.
I got out and freaking my body was shaking.
Just wasn't working?
The time,
yeah.
I had to try to do a rope climb after, and my hands just didn't work.
How did they do it? Was it a big tub that you jumped in, or did they have the slide?
So it was a big tub, and they had a wall that you had to like go under. So your
a dunk wall. Yeah, I've been in one of those.
Yeah, it was like a reefer trailer.
Yeah, yep. And they're just shoveling ice in. It's crazy. And then another one I did, they actually it was like a big trailer, right? But they had a slide, so you couldn't avoid like anything. Like you were gonna like go in because you build up so much momentum going down the slide that you submerge yourself. So instead of having you dunk underneath a wall, they just submerged you right away, right out of it.
No,
it was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the worst. That was worse than the shock.
Well, brother, you're not gonna have that in Hawaii because it's gonna be gorgeous weather, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be August 17th and 18th are the races, so midsummer, and paradise. Love Hawaii. Yeah, so if anybody wants to do a Spartan race in Hawaii, hit me up. Hit John up because it's gonna be a party time. We have like 15 people going. Want to get that to 50. If we can get it to 100, that would make my year. So we have a little bit of self-improvement stuff planned, and it'll be a fun time. We have hikes planned, we have zip line, mini golf, all this stuff that we're gonna do as a group, or not, whatever you want to do, right?
Sure, we'll get some good food out there.
Oh, brother, there's gonna be amazing food, and it's a vacation, it's community building, and it's paradise. And everything I sign up for. So
it sounds amazing,
dude. It will be amazing, and I can't wait for you to experience it because it's going to be so fun. But I just can't wait for that. And like doing the Spartan race this weekend in Atlanta is just like the prelude to it. I'm meeting up with it is. I'm meeting up with a couple of people. One of my friends, she's doing her first super, so I'm gonna do step for step with her with that. And then one of my other friends, Nick, he's coming down from Michigan, and he's doing all 3 races. So I'm going to meet up with him. So it's going to be so fun just to get together with the people and just, do hard stuff, get better, and smile, curse, and have some fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so what's the difference between like the super and all the different length ones?
So
I know you've gone over it before, but remind me.
Yeah, so Spartan races, we're also doing a trifecta weekend in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's why.
But you don't have to do it at all. Like you can sign up for one race and do it with us and have fun, right? So let's start at the beginning. So there's the sprint. It's about 3 miles, right? Spartan miles is always more than 3 miles, but sprint is like a 5K, which is 3.1 miles officially. You're going to go further. It's Spartan racing. And they find every hill imaginable in those 3 miles. The next one is the super, which is about 6 miles. It's a 10K. Once again, about 6 miles. You're always going to do more, trust me. Yes, you're always doing more. Then the next one is a 20K, which is 13.1 miles. Or 13.1 miles. It's a half marathon. That is the beast. And that one's really fun. There's always a lot more running. It's obviously you have to cover the distance, but that one has the most standard obstacles. But then there's the Ultra Beast, which is 2 laps around the Beast course. So you're doing the same thing twice, but that is a marathon and over 60 obstacles to complete.
Damn.
Yes, and that's actually the one that I am doing in Hawaii. That'll be my first Ultra Beast since 2019. Yeah, my last Ultra was 2019 in Iceland. So yeah, it'll be my first Ultra Beast in a really long time. I'm pumped for it. I cannot wait. It's gonna be an experience and a half, I can tell you that much. But that one is a full marathon, 60 obstacles, and then they also have hurricane heats to where it's like you meet up with a bunch of people, a bunch of groups, to where like you get a little medallion at the end to where it's like a group instructor, it's a group, and you guys go do different exercises. That's completely different from like the actual Spartans.
It's like a relay marathon.
No, the hurricane heats are just like a group thing to where like you're with a quote unquote instructor and you're going through a hiking path. They tell you to take off your pack, do some burpees.
Oh, okay.
You know, they tell you to go into the water. So they have 8-hour hurricane heats, 12-hour hurricane heats, 24-hour hurricane heats. Then they have these things called the Agogis, which is like 60 miles, which is crazy. And then they have this thing called the death race, which you have to like get approved for and get waivers for. It's insane. But the standard ones are the sprint, the super, the beast, and the ultra beast. Right. And that's the one those are the 4 that I focus on. So
yeah, so when we go to Hawaii, I'll definitely at minimum do the beast with you.
That's awesome.
We'll see about the ultra beast.
Well, and the ultra beast, like, it's tough because the bigger the group, it's tough because you have to be able to keep up.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I by no means am I saying not to, but if you're not in shape to take on every single hill, like, I don't want you to DQ, and I also don't want you to be on the course for 15 hours.
Oh yeah.
like so you know that's why you have those elevating limits, and I want people to experience like trifecta weekends. So the standard sprint, super, beast. The ultra beast, I'm picking Hawaii because first off, if I'm traveling that far, I'm gonna get my money's worth.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. like I never travel just for a sprint. It's never gonna happen. Like, I will never just do a sprint. If I'm traveling, I'm doing at least 2 races. Like, that's just the way I am. I'm gonna be money well spent. Okay, we're going there for an experience and community building. But yeah, so like I tell everybody, hey, start with a sprint, super, and a beast, and then go up from there. And the only reason I'm doing the ultra beast is because I can run 1 lap and then meet up with the group who is starting the beast.
Okay.
And then we can finish together.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing the ultra beast in Hawaii, because I can start at 6 o'clock in the morning and meet up with people that start at 11, and we can still get it done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll be.
That's what I'll do. I'll do the sprint, the beast, and the
super.
Was
Yep.
in the middle. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take your advice.
Hell yeah, brother. And the best, and the best thing is that after the ultra beast that we're doing, I'm getting pancakes.
Ooh.
And I already got the spot picked out. Oh, I'm so excited. It's called, I think it's like Mac 24/7, and it's a place in Waikiki, and it was on Man vs. Food. It has these 14-inch pancakes, right? And there's 3 of them. So after out in the sun all day, probably getting over 100,000 steps easily, your boy's eating pancakes, and I'm dumping all the syrup on top of it, and I'm pumped.
You said Man vs. Food. I used to watch that show all
the time,
dude.
It's so crazy. I used to watch that all the time. Like, we used to sit in the barracks on Joint Base Lewis McCord, Washington. Like, me and my friend Austin Oshiro, we just watch Man vs. Food all the time. There's this place that it's called B-52s. It's really cool. It's like an old not old, but it's like a World War II styled restaurant. Like, obviously B-52, it's the bomber, but they have this thing called the Juicy Lucy, and it's a burger with cheese in the middle, and it's like enclosed, right? So when you bite into it, you actually have to be careful because the cheese will go And I actually saw it on there. Every time my mom and we go to Minneapolis, St. Paul, MSP Airport, we go to B-52s because I want my Juicy Lucy and cheese curds. And so it's just like core memory unlocked right there. So
Yeah,
I
awesome.
love that show.
Yeah, I don't know if this was off Bachelor. I used to watch cooking shows all the time. Where it was like competitive cooking shows where like normal chefs compete against like the Iron Chef America. You ever heard of that? But I saw this burger that was in Des Moines, Iowa. That the buns were fried mac and cheese.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I actually got to have that one time because we went out to a tournament for Muay Thai for my friend Darius a long time ago, and we were really close to that restaurant. I was like, no way.
It's like, we're going.
Yep, I immediately got it.
That's funny.
Yeah, after his fight, he went hard there too. We both got one.
I don't blame him.
It
was it good?
Dude, it was crazy. It was amazing.
Man, now
the
I
mac
kind
and
of want to
cheese
try it.
was perfect. Like the burger was cooked perfectly too.
Now I want to try that. I've never tried that before. Oh my god!
Yeah,
Did
so
you eat it? Like, do you put condiments on it, or like?
I put a little bit of ketchup because actually,
Just trying to think.
might be an unpopular opinion, but I think mac and cheese should usually
Oh
get
man, you're one of
ketchup.
those people.
Yes,
My
sir.
mother's one of those people as well. First off, I don't have mac and cheese often. I just can't imagine putting ketchup. Easy Mac, I can't. Like like Easy Mac, is it even mac and cheese is the question. But like a good traditional mac and cheese, like homemade, no way am I putting ketchup on that.
Yeah, if it's some bougie mac and cheese where it is cooked really well and they got the breadcrumbs.
Oh
sometimes,
my
like,
God,
I
you
won't throw ketchup,
but everything else, we're throwing ketchup on mac and cheese.
Yes.
I understand it because I grew up with it because of my mother. So all right, you're not like the crazy person, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like
So you know how to throw ketchup on the freaking mac and cheese.
well, I throw ketchup on all burgers. So like, I mean, I'll throw ketchup on steak. Like, don't come at me, get away from me.
Okay, I don't know about that one.
Hey.
Like I love ketchup. But
I love ketchup. But yeah, so, I'll get there eventually. I know I'll get to Des Moines, Iowa eventually.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say
we'll get
definitely
there.
get to that restaurant. I don't remember the name of it, but
Oh, it's simple Google search away. No problem. No problem.
oh yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome.
But
What?
yeah, no, when just on the cooking show thing, because I watched those so much when I was younger. This was kind of by accident, and then I also started doing it on purpose when I realized it helped. But I just used some of the things I learned from that to spice up my foods a little bit differently. Like I eat beef and rice constantly, but I change how I cook it a little bit.
Yep.
Change the
Yep.
spices.
Hey,
change
tell them
the
about
way
your
you do
little
it.
secret that you put it in like everything.
Oh yeah, so there's something I do in pretty much everything I cook, but because I mainly eat meat and rice, like I do it on these every single time. And with chicken, I do the same thing. Beef, even my rice, it gets a little bit of sea salt, and then it always gets
Standard.
stevia.
Which is crazy to me because I never
Everything.
thought of it.
Yeah, rice, beef, chicken, no matter
Tell me
what
why.
it is. Honestly, it's just to kick up that sweetness a little bit. And I always add a different spice, so it kind of balances out the spice.
Does it bring out the spice? Or is it just like that sweet and spicy, sweet and salty kind of thing for you?
Yeah, I think it creates that balance. It doesn't bring it out. I think it creates that balance where it's like, a lot of the time, like I might put a little bit too much spice on there, and that stevia always balances that out.
Got you.
But
Cool.
yeah,
Man, like the first time you told me that, I was just like, you do what?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, never thought of it. It's just like a little sweetener. It's a natural sweetener.
Yeah.
So it's not like fake sugar or anything like that, or it's not sugar.
0 calories.
Yep. And it's just like gives it that little sweetness boost that, like, once again, you can sweeten up your food a little bit, and you can spice your food so you're not eating blandness.
Yeah.
And it's not just condiments, because condiments have calories. Most of them do. So gotta watch those. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you don't have to make your own like spice mixture too and buy everything separately. There's really good.
I use Danos. Shameless plug. I use Danos all the time.
Yeah. I don't have a specific brand for that just because I change it up so much. I'm
That's
just
awesome.
like, oh, that one sounds good. That one sounds
Yep.
good. Like,
Yep.
Or if you can crack it open and smell it, it's like, oh, this smells super good. I'm gonna use that one this time.
Yep.
It's never the same one.
And it doesn't have to be bland. There's difference for everything. Yeah. Love it.
Actually, shout out G Hughes though, the low sugar sauces.
Dude.
Low sugar sauces. Oh my god, dude, I cannot stop the sweet chili sauce that he has.
Really?
Like, I've been putting it on freaking everything. I get 2 every time I go to Walmart. Like, it's
I'm a
so
big
good.
spicy mustard guy, but the GUs come in handy. I can tell you that much. Love it. Love it. Cool. I think that's about it. Let's wrap it up. Last time I was reviewing the podcast and I was like, shit, we didn't do a prayer at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I know Derek normally does it, and I think that's why it escaped my mind. I was so pumped we were doing the podcast the first time, me and you. Yeah. So, do you want to give this a crack? It's up to you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a shot.
All right.
All right, let's get it.
Yep.
All right. So thank you, Heavenly Father, for this amazing day that we have. And thank you for the opportunity that we have to really help as many people as possible. I'm grateful for all the people that we are grateful for all the people you put in our lives. And I ask you to help us to be selfless and truly make a difference in other people's lives today. And then you want to, I'm losing it there. I apologize.
Dude, no worries. So, Lord, thank you for the opportunity to open our eyes today. Thank you to have people listen to this message, and we do everything through you, because you are King, and no matter the situation, you always open doors. Even though sometimes we may question, we put our faith in you, because you are truly the light, and you have instilled your light within us through your only Son, Jesus Christ, and through everyone that you have touched and opened their eyes. I can't thank you enough. From the bottom of our hearts, we owe everything to you, and we are doing our best in service to make your dream come true of a better world, to serve more, to do more, to create a better place in this world that we live in before we get to you in eternal life. Once again, Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity and this blessing to touch as many lives as possible. Amen. Appreciate you, Six.
Appreciate you, bro.